All right. Well, guys, it is a travel day for me. I'm heading to Kelowna, British Columbia for a super cool event this week. And that is actually what I want to talk about on the podcast today. We're talking about investing in yourself. We're talking about this weekend that I am, not even weekend, it's starting today. So we're talking about this event that I'm going to. We're talking about investing in yourself and the importance of it. Now, we're going to give it a minute before we tune in. Before we get started, let some more people tune in on the live streams. And as you guys tune in, drop me a comment. Let me know how the week's going, how training's going, if you've got anything coming up, and honestly, what else you'd like to hear more about on these shows. The goal of this show is to help you. So drop some questions, drop some things that you would like me to talk more about on future episodes, and we will make sure to get into those questions on later episodes. And also, I'm going to be sticking around for probably 10 minutes at the end to answer some questions. And now we are going to get into the podcast. Guys, I'm doing fantastic. I hope all of you are as well. Now, let's get into the show. We're talking about investing in yourself, and we're talking about it, and we're going in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the #1 show for athletes looking to gain an edge on their opponents and build their dream careers in sport. I'm your host, Kenny Dussault, and today we're talking about investing in yourself. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because I'm actually going to be heading to Kelowna in about 2 hours for a mastermind event that is being held at a mansion where basically my business coaches rented out a massive mansion in Kelowna. And there are 18 of us that are going to be there, and we're all staying in this mansion. We have a private chef cooking for us the whole time we're there. And we're going to be listening to speakers talking about different areas of business, things we can do to continue to grow our own businesses. And we just get to network with a number of super high-level people. Now, when this opportunity came up, when they first started talking about doing this event, my first thought was, man, I don't belong here. Like, all these high-level people, a private chef, a massive mansion, I don't belong here. This isn't for me. And then I started thinking about it more, and I was like, why not? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like I don't belong at this high-level event? I work hard. I'm running a business. I'm doing some good things. It's like, why do I feel like I shouldn't? Why do I feel like I don't belong here? And I started realizing that, again, it is limiting beliefs from the past. And this is such a common thing for so many people that, this event comes up, private chef, mansion, millionaire speakers talking about business, all of these things. And my first instinct isn't, hey, I'm working hard. I'm running a business. I'm doing well for myself. I want new levels of my business. This is going to be a great opportunity for me to start, investing in myself more and seeing the levels of success that I'm working so hard for. My first thought is, nope, I don't belong there. That's too high level for me. Now, what used to happen is if that thought would come up for me, I would let that thought win. I would, I'd have that first thought of don't belong in that room, or don't belong, this isn't for me. And I would just not do it. And then after longer and longer and longer of, running this business that I'm running and working on my personal development, business development, coach development, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I realized that every time I have that feeling, that's an indication that I have to do it. And the reason that that's an indication that I have to do it is because I have high-level goals. I have high-level goals, and high-level goals require a high-level individual. And a high-level individual is born not, just by being born, but by building themselves into the person they want to become. And so I ended up buying a ticket to this event, and even the weeks leading up, I'm leaving in 2 hours, and the last couple of weeks leading up to this, I was thinking the same things. I'm like, man, I don't this is going to be so high level. Am I going to belong here? Am I just going to totally stick out like a sore thumb? What is going to happen this week? And the more I thought about it, the more I realized the only way to reach new levels as a human being is to put yourself in the rooms that you want to be in, to surround yourself with the people that you want to surround yourself with. And that requires paying for a seat at the table, which is something that I did in this situation. And the big thing here is, like, I want to make it clear, the investment to go to this event was a scary amount of money for me. And it was an amount that I didn't necessarily want to spend. But like I said, I have high level goals, and high level goals require a high level attitude. And a high level attitude means making investments that make you uncomfortable, means making sacrifices that make you uncomfortable, means putting yourself in rooms that make you uncomfortable. You know, we've all heard the expression, if you are the best person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And man, that could not be more accurate. That could not be truer. And so that's why when opportunities come up like this now, even though it's super uncomfortable and I'm putting a lot of money down to do something that deep down, I would say I want to do, but mentally I struggle with actually admitting that I want to do. And the reason that I continue to do them is because I have high level goals. I want to speak on international stages around the world, teaching what I do and teaching more as more time goes on. I want to work with athletes that are winning world championships. I want to be the guy in my industry, which requires a massive level of work ethic and a massive level of growth, because work ethic alone isn't going to cut it. And so in order to have those breakthroughs that I need, in order to, have those discoveries about myself that I need, putting myself in this kind of room is a crucial element to that success. So why am I telling you this? Why are we talking about this? Because this, guys, is exactly something that I see athletes make a mistake with every single day. I have conversations with many of you every single day that tell me I want to be the first triple champ in the history of the UFC, or I want to be a double champion, or I want to, retire my whole family with the money I make from fighting, and I want to win the UFC belt. I want to win a boxing world championship. I want to win a kickboxing world championship and then move to MMA and win a UFC world champ. Like, these high level goals. And that is an awesome thing. Like, I want to preface this by saying, when I hear those goals, that gets me excited. I love when people dream big. But then the part that gets frustrating, and the part that I want you to understand used to be me as well, but that you need to learn how to get past, is that same athlete that will tell me I want to be the first triple champ in the history of the UFC because nobody's ever done it before, and I want to prove that I'm different and I'm above the pack, tells me, yeah, there's no way I could possibly invest in a coach right now, even though I'm struggling with my cardio. It's, like, money's tight. And guys, I get it. Money's tight. Like I said, the amount of money that I put down for this investment this weekend was a scary amount of money. Like, I've had to put it on my credit card because I didn't have the amount sitting in my account. And the thing is, you've got to learn to trust yourself. You've got to learn to trust yourself that when you make those investments in yourself that are scary, you're the type of person who's willing to do the work required to get the results from the investment that you're making. Like, I know going into this weekend, going into this event, listening to these speakers, being around these people, that I'm going to be massively uncomfortable. But I trust the fact that I'm going to be able to go into this environment and I'm going to be able to make the fucking most of it. And the reason that I trust myself with that is because I put the work into myself, both physically and mentally, every single day. And this is what I need you guys to understand. This is the key to your success in the future. Understand that if you have high level goals for your career, that requires a high level attitude. And I don't have the money to invest in myself right now is not a high level attitude. You might not have it right now, this very moment, this very day, but instead of using that as a limitation, oh, I can't do it because I don't have money, or I can't do it because I don't have time, you've got to flip that question. How do you create the time? How do you make the money? How do you put yourself in a position where you can make these investments or these sacrifices for your future that allow you to reach the goals that you want to reach? Like, the one big goal of mine that I talked about a lot on the podcast recently is speaking on stages internationally. So going to gyms, going to events, teaching what it is I do with my athletes and how we get the results we get. And I know that coming into this weekend, I'm going to be listening to many speakers and have the opportunity to network with many very, very high level individuals that do exactly that. that speak at events around the world, that speak on international stages, teaching what they do and teaching why it's effective. And so I could either A, say, it's a lot of money for me to invest. I don't really have that right now. Nope, not going to go. Or I can say, you know what? This is going to be a tough pill to swallow, but I'm going to put myself in that environment. I'm going to be around those people. I'm going to ask those people questions about how they got into those positions. I'm going to learn, and I'm going to take the information that I learn. I'm going to fucking execute, and I'm going to make that dream a reality. Which of those attitudes do you think achieves the high level goals? Attitude number one of, ooh, that's scary, so I'm not going to do it. Or attitude number two of, damn, that's going to be tough for me to swallow, but I know the value that I'm going to get from this, so I'm going to make sure I go. I'm going to make sure I'm present. I'm going to make sure I get every fucking bit of information out of this that I can in order to come back to execute on a higher level and to make the fucking dreams I say are important to me a reality. Just so you know, in case you're confused, it's number two. And this is the mentality that I need you to understand. This is the attitude that I need you to start adopting. Yes, it is a difficult thing to, invest money that you make at your job, that you work hard to earn, into your future. But if you have big goals for your future, those are hard to attain. And those are hard to attain, especially when you don't have the right information, when you don't have the right people around you, when you're not working with the people that are going to be able to help you achieve it. So you can make the choice now, live the easy life today, not making those sacrifices and those investments and just complaining about how you don't have money or you don't have time or you don't have this or the world's against you. Or you can learn to make your life harder today, make some extra sacrifices, stop the whole Starbucks every morning before work routine, cancel a couple of the TV streaming subscriptions, live in a slightly less fancy apartment, drive a slightly less fancy car, and put that money towards creating the future you want. Or you can, and by doing that, you can finally actually start putting the effort, putting the work, putting the money into creating the life that you want forever. Now, athletes, I really need you to understand, if you want to conquer the world, as I know so many of you do, you want to do things that the world is going to remember, you want to make history, as you put it, then it starts today. It starts today, and it doesn't start with the attitude of, oh, I can't because of blah, blah, blah. It starts with the attitude of, how do I figure this out? When it comes to working with specific coaches, when it comes to, buying memberships to the gyms that you need, when it comes to your living situation, any of it. I can't because is the attitude of a fucking loser. And I know that that is a harsh thing to hear. And if that angers you, good. Because as soon as you can flip I can't because to how can I, you're going to start separating yourself from the pack. Because any excuse you have for yourself right now, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I live in the wrong city, my parents don't support me, whatever it is, understand that 99% of the rest of the world is using the same fucking excuses. So you're not getting anywhere. But if you can start flipping that script, if you can start making that change, like I started making within my own coaching business, like we talked about today, you're going to be able to separate yourself from the pack. You're going to be able to be the one who actually starts rising above because you're doing the shit that others aren't willing to do. When we hear that expression, to achieve the goals that others won't be able to achieve, you need to do the shit that others aren't willing to do. I think it's worded a little bit differently, but I think you get the idea. We hear that expression and we think hours in the gym. But you got to remember, guys, everybody thinks hours in the gym. So that's not what others aren't willing to do anymore. So now, what is it you're willing to do that others aren't willing to do? And that's, finding a different job so that you can invest in the coaching that you need to succeed. That's moving cities so that you can go to a better gym so that you can actually put your career as an athlete first. That's hiring the nutritionist instead of trying to figure out your weight cuts on your own. There are so many areas that people just try to do it themselves and they fuck everything up because this isn't as easy as just trying to figure it out on your own. And this is why I keep talking about these self-investments and why I'm trying to bring more stories of myself doing that as well, so that you guys can truly understand the importance of it. So, guys, that is it. That is all. I hope you got some good value out of this. If you did, I would love to know what it is. Make sure to drop a comment here if you're here live, or send me a message across any of my social media channels. The links on how to do that will be saved in the show notes below. As always, guys, I appreciate you. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will catch you on the next episode. Guys, we are going to stick around and do a little bit of Q&A. So if you have any questions,